I was just a black waitress working a night shift in Korea until I ran toward a burning car everyone else ran away from. I saved a dying woman.
We need to move now!
I didn't know she was the mother of Korea's most dangerous mafia boss. I didn't know my bravery would put $1 million bounty on my head. And I definitely didn't know I'd be forced into marriage with a man who solves problems by killing them. This is the story of how one heroic choice destroyed my life and rebuilt it into something far more dangerous. Stay with me. This love story doesn't play fair. Before we go any further, if you want to see how a single moment of bravery destroyed my entire world and rebuilt it into something I never saw coming, subscribe. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I read every single one, and I want to know who's writing this story with me. Mitchell Brooks had 17 seconds before the truck hit. She knew because she'd counted them later, replaying it in her mind until the numbers burned themselves into her memory. 17 seconds between noticing the black sedan at the red light and the moment everything changed. The lunch rush in Busan was chaos. Tourists snapping photos, street vendors calling out prices, the smell of grilled fish mixing with exhaust. Mitchell balanced 2 pies from the diner, careful not to let the cream filling shift. Mrs. Kim would kill her if she ruined another delivery. 14 seconds. She saw the older Korean woman through the sedan's window. Elegant profile, expensive coat, rings catching sunlight. 11 seconds. The truck crested the hill, horns screaming, brakes shrieking, metal against metal, but not slowing. 7 seconds. Mitchell's pies hit the pavement, cream exploding across the crosswalk. 4 seconds. She ran. 2 seconds. Her hand found the woman's arm through the open window, yanked hard. 0 seconds. They crashed onto pavement together. The truck obliterated the sedan. Metal folded. Like paper, glass became rain. The sound so massive Mitchell felt it in her bones. She covered the woman's body with her own, felt heat and destruction inches away, tasted rubber and fear. Then silence. Then screaming. Mitchell rolled off, her elbow scraped raw, uniform torn at the shoulder. The woman stared at her with black eyes, perfectly styled hair barely disturbed, hands shaking so violently her rings clicked together. Behind them, the sedan was an accordion of expensive metal and shattered glass. A black motorcycle cut through frozen traffic. The rider dismounted with lethal grace. Expensive suit, dark hair, face carved from stone. The street went quiet in a way that had nothing to do with shock. Recognition rippled through the crowd like electricity. He pulled off his helmet and Mitchell saw him clearly. Sharp jaw, mouth set in a hard line, eyes that assessed the wreckage with cold calculation. Then he saw his mother alive, saw Mitchell bleeding, and something dangerous flickered across his face. "You pulled her out?" His English was perfect, barely accented. Truck was coming. She didn't see. "And you ran toward it anyway." Not gratitude, assessment, like she was a problem requiring solutions. The woman grabbed Mitchell's hand, grip surprisingly strong. "What's your name?" "Mitchell Brooks." "You saved me." 3 black cars arrived within seconds. Men in suits emerged, moving with choreographed precision, controlling the scene with phone calls and low voices. Police appeared but stayed on the periphery, deferential in a way that made Mitchell's skin crawl. She tried to stand. The woman's hand tightened. "You're coming with us." "Ma'am, I need to work." "I insist." Not a request. Command wrapped in warmth. The man met Mitchell's eyes. "My mother doesn't ask twice." Warning laced through kindness. They guided her toward a black car. The woman still held her hand. The man's palm pressed firm against her lower back. Mitchell was too, shocked to resist, too overwhelmed by the wrongness of everything. The deference, the expensive cars appearing from nowhere, the way people watched him like he was violence contained. Inside smelled like leather and money. Tinted windows turned Busan into shadows. The woman sat beside her, still gripping her fingers. The man folded into the front passenger seat, phone already at his ear, speaking rapid Korean. Mitchell's throat closed. "Where are we going?" The man glanced back. "Somewhere safe." The woman squeezed her hand. "Somewhere you belong." Mitchell's throat closed because she didn't belong anywhere near people who commanded streets with single phone calls, who made police step back, who moved through the world like they owned it. The car pulled away from the wreckage, from her spilled pies, from her normal life. She didn't know it yet, but she'd left more than lunch shift behind. The estate had more guards than her apartment building had residents. Mitchell counted 6 at the gate alone. Suits, earpieces, eyes that tracked the car with professional intensity. The compound sprawled behind high walls, traditional Korean architecture meeting modern glass. Gardens so perfect they looked painted. She was led inside with her bloody elbow, her ripped uniform, completely out of place against marble floors and art that probably cost more than her annual rent. The sitting room could have swallowed her entire apartment. Madame Kang, because that's what the suited men called the woman Mitchell had saved, insisted on cleaning her wounds herself, dismissing staff with a gentle wave. "You have family?" Madame Kang asked, dabbing antiseptic on Mitchell's elbow with surprising tenderness. "Mother and brother." "Father. Gone." Madame Kang nodded slowly. "Mine too. My husband." Something passed between them, understanding that needed no elaboration. The door opened. The man from the motorcycle entered, face grim, phone still in his hand. Truck driver vanished, CCTV from 3 blocks corrupted. Madame Kang went completely still. Mitchell's stomach dropped. What does that mean? He looked at his mother first, then Mitchell. "It means someone tried to kill you today, Oma." The room felt colder suddenly. "Which means," his eyes found Mitchell sharp and calculating, "whoever wanted her dead knows there's a witness." "What does that mean for me?" "It means you're not safe going home." "My family?" "Already being watched. I have men outside your building." Anger flared hot through her fear. "You can't just—" "I already did." The certainty in his voice was absolute, unapologetic. This was a man who didn't ask permission, who acted and dealt with consequences later. Mitchell stood. "I'm leaving." Madame Kang's voice cut through the room like a blade. "Child, sit." Something in her tone made Mitchell obey before she'd consciously decided to. "You saved my life. That makes you precious. And we protect what's precious. I'm not yours to protect." The man leaned forward slightly. "You became ours the second you pulled her from that car." Not a threat. Statement of fact. Mitchell's phone rang. Darius, her brother, voice high with panic. "Mitch, there's men outside, just standing there. Mom's scared." Before Mitchell could answer, the man took her phone from her hand. He spoke to Darius in calm, perfect English. "Your sister is safe. The men outside are mine. They're protecting you." "Who are you?" "Someone who owes your sister everything." He hung up, handed the phone back. Mitchell shook with fury and fear. "You had no right." "I had every right. Your family is vulnerable because you saved mine." She hated that the logic made sense, hated that she could see the thread connecting her heroism to their danger. Madame Kang touched her shoulder gently. "Stay tonight, just tonight. Let us thank you properly." Mitchell looked between them, the mother's warmth, the son's cold certainty. 2 different approaches to the same goal, keeping her here. She realized she couldn't fight both. One night, Madame Kang smiled. The man's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Satisfaction, maybe, or recognition that she'd chosen the only logical path available. That night, in a guest room bigger than her entire apartment, Mitchell couldn't sleep. She stood at the window watching gardens lit by subtle landscape lighting. Movement caught her eye. The man standing under a tree, phone pressed to his ear, body language radiating tension even from a distance. Whatever war was happening wasn't over. It was just beginning, and she was already caught in the crossfire. Mitchell woke to screaming. Korean words sharp enough to cut, a woman's voice raised in fury. She threw on the borrowed robe and ran downstairs, following the sound to a formal sitting room. Madame Kang stood in the center, shouting at her son. He stood rigid, jaw tight, taking her fury without response. Whatever he'd done, it was bad enough to crack his mother's elegant composure. Mrs. O, the housekeeper, pulled Mitchell aside. "Someone broke into your apartment last night." Blood drained from Mitchell's face. "My family?" "Safe. The guards stopped the intruder, but your mother and brother can't stay there." The man, she still didn't know his name, saw Mitchell, walked over with controlled strides. "They're being brought here, now." "You can't just relocate my family." "I can. I did. They'll arrive within the hour." Madame Kang stopped shouting, approached Mitchell with anguish in her eyes. "Child, I'm sorry. This is my fault. My enemies are yours now." "Who's trying to kill you?" Silence. The man answered instead. "Business rivals, people who want what we have." Vague, deliberate, hiding something. Mitchell caught it immediately. "You're not telling me everything." His eyes flickered. Respect, maybe, for noticing. "I'm telling you enough." "That's not the same thing." "No, it's not." First honest moment between them. Acknowledgement he was keeping secrets. Refusal to apologize for it. Angela and Darius arrived 30 minutes later, overnight bags in hand, faces tight with fear. Angela hugged Mitchell hard enough to hurt. "Baby, what's happening?" "I don't know yet." Darius sized up the man with open hostility. "You're the one pulling strings?" "I'm the one keeping you alive." They stared each other down. Young man's pride versus older man's certainty. 20 versus however old he was. 30, maybe. 32. Mitchell stepped between them. "Not now." Madame Kang welcomed Angela with surprising warmth, showed them to adjoining rooms, promised safety and comfort. Angela was too overwhelmed to do anything but accept. Later, Mitchell found the man's office. She knocked once and entered without waiting for permission. He looked up from papers spread across an enormous desk. Surprise, flickering across his face. "I need the truth, all of it." "Why?" "Because my family's in danger. I deserve to know why." He studied her for a long moment, then stood, walked to the window overlooking the gardens. "My family has business interests, legitimate and otherwise." First admission, he wasn't clean. "Mafia?" she asked bluntly. He didn't confirm, didn't deny. "We have enemies. One of them tried to kill my mother yesterday, failed. Now they'll try harder, and they'll use anyone connected to us as leverage. So I made us targets by saving her." He turned to face her. "You made yourself valuable. There's a difference." "Valuable how?" "My mother cares about you. That makes you a weakness." The word hung between them like smoke. "Then let us leave. We'll disappear. They've already seen you, already know your face. Running won't help." "Then what will?" His jaw tightened. "Eliminating the threat." Cold certainty in his voice. She realized he meant killing someone, probably multiple someones, and the realization should have horrified her, but instead she just felt tired. That night, she lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. His mother's kindness, his controlled violence, the way her family had been absorbed into this world without anyone asking permission. His phone rang at 2 a.m. She heard it through the walls, his voice low, hard, then silence. Footsteps in the hallway. Her door opened. He stood backlit by hallway light, face in shadow. "Pack essentials. We're moving you somewhere else." "Why?" "Because they know which room you're sleeping in." Her blood froze. Someone had been watching inside the estate, inside his home, inside these walls that were supposed to be fortress. Nowhere was safe anymore. The safe house was a penthouse with bulletproof glass. Downtown Busan, 47th floor, all clean lines and expensive emptiness. Mitchell stood at the window watching the city spread below like fallen stars while the man, Jisoo Park, she'd finally learned his name, checked security feeds on a tablet. Angela and Darius had stayed at the estate with Madame Kang. More security there, more guards, safer with numbers. Mitchell was alone with Jisoo for the first time, and the tension was thick enough to taste. "How long?" she asked. "Until I find who's leaking information." "Someone in your organization?" His silence was answer enough. Betrayal from inside was worse than enemies outside. She understood that without needing it explained. She watched him check windows, doors, security feeds with methodical precision, saw exhaustion in his shoulders, stress in the tight line of his jaw. "When did you last sleep?" "Sleep is luxury. You'll make mistakes if you're tired." He almost smiled. "Worried about me? Worried you'll get us killed." Fair. Night fell. City lights turned the penthouse into a fishbowl of glass and exposure. They were trapped together in expensive isolation. Mitchell made tea. The kitchen was stocked. Someone had prepared for this and brought him a cup. He took it with surprise, softening his features. "Thank you. You're keeping me alive. Least I can do." They sat in strange domesticity, drinking tea while the city breathed below. "Why does your mother care so much?" Mitchell asked. "About me, I mean. She barely knows me." Jisoo was silent for a long time. Then, "She lost a daughter 20 years ago, car accident. First real piece of his past, offered like a gift. I had a sister, older. She died when I was 12. Same year my father died." "I'm sorry." "My mother never recovered. She sees second chances where others see strangers." Mitchell understood now. Madame Kang's intensity, her instant attachment, the way she'd grabbed Mitchell's hand and refused to let go. "I'm not your sister." "I know, but she wants to believe you could be family." "And you?" The question slipped out before she could stop it. His eyes met hers. "I don't know what I want." Honesty that stole her breath. The moment stretched between them, loaded with everything unsaid, everything building. His phone shattered it, a call he took in the other room, voice low and hard. He returned, looking dangerous. "They found the leak." "Who?" "Driver, my own man. He disabled the brakes, took payment from rivals." "Where is he now?" Being questioned. The way he said questioned made her stomach turn. What will happen to him? Justice. Your version or the law's? Mine. She should have been horrified. Instead, she felt safe, because his version of justice protected her, protected his mother, protected everyone he'd claimed as his. Later that night, she woke to voices from the balcony. She found her way to the door, heard Jisoo speaking rapid Korean, angry, desperate, a word repeated over and over. Mitchell. Her name in his mouth, urgent and strained. He came back inside, saw her awake, and his face went terrible. "Get dressed, we're leaving." "Where?" "Somewhere they'll never find you." She realized he was about to make her disappear. Jisoo drove like he was running from ghosts. Middle of the night, highway out of Busan, rain starting to streak the windshield. Mitchell sat in the passenger seat watching his knuckles go white on the wheel, jaw locked tight enough to crack teeth. "Tell me what's happening." "Rivals put a bounty on you, 500,000, dead or alive." The words hit like bullets. "Why me? I'm nobody." "You're the woman who saved Madame Kang. That makes you leverage." "So you're hiding me. I'm protecting you. By kidnapping me in the middle of the night?" His jaw tightened further. "By doing what I should have done from the beginning, getting you far away from this world." "What about my family?" "Protected. The estate is a fortress. You're the exposed one." Rain came harder, wipers struggling to keep pace. The highway stretched empty before them. "Where are we going?" "Coastal house. Private. Off-grid. No one knows about it. Except you. Just me." The intimacy of that statement settled between them. alone, isolated, just the two of them against whatever was coming. 2 hours later, they arrived. Cliffside house, ocean crashing below, modern glass and clean lines, beautiful and remote. Inside was minimalist perfection, clearly unlived in, dust covers on furniture. You own this? Inheritance. My father's. I never use it. Why not? Too many memories. He didn't elaborate. She didn't push. The kitchen was stocked. Fresh food that couldn't have been there long. The closet in the bedroom had women's clothes, her size, still tagged. How? Mrs. O packed a bag, sent it ahead. He'd planned this. Prepared for needing to hide her. How long will I be here? However long it takes. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. Frustration and fear mixed into something hot in her chest. I can't just disappear from my life. Your life almost ended yesterday. This is temporary discomfort for permanent survival. Logic she couldn't fight. He showed her the bedroom, the bathroom, left her alone. She stood at the window watching the ocean, feeling trapped and safe simultaneously. Later, unable to sleep, she found him on the deck. Rain had stopped, stars bright and cold, ocean loud below. You should rest, he said without turning. Can't. Neither can I. She joined him at the railing. What happens if the bounty doesn't go away? It will, once I eliminate the people who placed it. And if you can't? He looked at her finally. I will, because I don't fail at protecting what matters. I'm not. You matter. Simple, direct, no room for argument. Her breath caught. First time he'd admitted it, to her or himself. The ocean crashed against rocks. Wind carried salt and cold. The moment stretched thin. He reached out, tucked hair behind her ear. Touch. So gentle it broke something in her chest. Get some sleep, Mitchell. You're safe here. With you? Especially with me. She woke at dawn to find Jisoo gone. A note on the kitchen counter in sharp handwriting. Stay inside. I'll be back by nightfall. JP. She was alone in a glass house on a cliff with ocean below and no way to leave. By noon, she was pacing. By 3, she was worried. By 6, when he still wasn't back, she was terrified. At 7, headlights appeared on the coastal road. Not his car. Black SUV with tinted windows. Men got out. 3 of them, moving with purpose toward the house. The safe house wasn't safe anymore, and she was completely alone. Mitchell had 30 seconds before the men reached the door. She backed away from the window, watching them approach through bulletproof glass that suddenly felt paper thin. 3 men, moving with professional efficiency, no hesitation. Her hands shook as she grabbed a kitchen knife. Pathetic against guns, but better than nothing. 20 seconds. The door handle turned. She braced, knife raised, knowing she was about to die. Then gunshots erupted outside. Tires screeched. Men shouted in Korean. Jisoo's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. Get down! Mitchell dropped flat, heard more shots, then terrible silence. The door crashed open. Jisoo entered, blood-spattered but moving like violence personified. His eyes found her immediately. Are you hurt? His hands framed her face, checking for injury with desperate precision. She was shaking too hard to answer. He pulled her close, rare loss of control cracking his composure. I shouldn't have left you. Over his shoulder, through the open door, she saw bodies being dragged away by his men. Efficient, practiced, like they'd done this before. Who were they? Bounty hunters. First wave won't be the last. Reality crashed through her. Staying here was suicide. They left immediately, Jisoo's hand iron firm on her back, guiding her to the car. The drive back to Busan was tense silence. His knuckles went white on the wheel again, jaw locked so tight she could see the muscle jumping. The estate appeared like a fortress in the dark. Madame Kang waited at the entrance, Angela and Darius visible behind her through the windows. Madame Kang embraced Mitchell hard. You're alive! Thank God! Then she rounded on Jisoo with fury that could strip paint. You left her alone? She could have died. I was handling the threat by leaving her defenseless. First time Mitchell had seen him take his mother's anger without fighting back. He stood there and absorbed it, face tight with guilt. Madame Kang turned to Mitchell, and her eyes held a decision that made Mitchell's stomach drop. This cannot continue. You need protection that doesn't depend on my son's schedule. I have guards. Guards aren't enough. You need status, power, a name that makes enemies think twice. Mitchell saw it coming before. The words left Madame Kang's mouth. You need to marry Jisoo. The room went silent. Jisoo started. Don't argue. She's a target because of us. Marriage makes her family untouchable. You can't force. I'm not forcing. I'm offering survival. Mitchell found her voice. I'm not marrying someone I barely know. Madame Kang's eyes softened, but her voice stayed steel. Then get to know him. But do it quickly, because the bounty doubled an hour ago. 1 million now, dead or alive. Angela gasped. Darius moved protectively toward Mitchell. Jisoo's face went stone. How do you know that? I have sources, same sources that tell me 3 more teams are coming, within days. Mitchell felt the trap closing around her throat. Marriage won't stop them. Marriage to Jisoo makes you Park family. Attacking you means war with every ally we have. It changes the calculation. Logic twisted with manipulation, but Mitchell saw the truth beneath it. Madame Kang wanted a daughter-in-law. She was using the crisis to force it. I need time to think. You have 24 hours, then I'm announcing the engagement whether you agree or not. You can't. Watch me. That night, Mitchell stood on the balcony, unable to sleep. Footsteps behind her announced Jisoo's presence. My mother means well, but she's wrong. You shouldn't have to marry me to survive. Mitchell's heart hammered. What if I wanted to? The question hung between them, dangerous and honest. He stepped closer, close enough she could feel his heat. Don't offer things you don't mean. She whispered, Who says I don't mean it? He kissed her, not gentle, not asking permission, claiming and desperate like he'd been holding back for weeks and finally broke. His hands in her hair, her fingers gripping his shirt, both of them breathing hard when they broke apart. She realized she'd just made a decision her mind hadn't caught up to yet. The kiss changed everything and nothing. Morning came too fast. Mitchell woke to find Jisoo gone again, the pattern becoming familiar. A note on the nightstand. Meeting with allies. Back by noon. Stay inside. JP. Madame Kang summoned her to breakfast. Just the two of them. Formal table settings. Uncomfortable intimacy. My son kissed you last night. Don't look surprised. I have eyes everywhere. Mitchell's face burned. That doesn't mean. It means he cares. He doesn't kiss women. Doesn't let anyone close. You're different. Maternal warmth mixed with steel in every word. The engagement announcement is happening today. News outlets, formal statement, whether you agree or not. You're really doing this. I'm protecting you the only way I know how, and giving my son something he's too stubborn to take for himself. Angela joined them, worry etched in every line of her face. Mitch, baby, you can't marry someone because his mother demands it. Madame Kang interrupted smoothly. She can marry him. Because 3 hit teams are coming, and the bride of Jisoo Park lives while a waitress named Mitchell dies. Brutal honesty that silenced Angela completely. Darius entered, anger radiating off him. This is insane. We should go to the police. Police can't protect you from people who own the police. Mitchell realized Madame Kang was right, hated that she was right. If I agree, and I'm not saying I am, what happens? Engagement announced today. Wedding within the week. Traditional ceremony. Modern marriage. You become Park Mitchell, daughter of this house. And if I refuse? Madame Kang's face hardened. Then I announce it anyway, and you spend your wedding day arguing about consent instead of being alive. Angela stood. You can't force my daughter. I can save her. Which would you prefer? Jisoo returned early, tension radiating off him like heat. He found them in the breakfast room, read the situation instantly. What did you do, Amma? What you were too. What? Honorable to do. I'm announcing the engagement at 3 p.m. He looked at Mitchell. Did you agree to this? I didn't disagree fast enough. Something painful crossed his face. She doesn't have to marry me to be protected. Yes, she does, and you know it. He was silent because she was right. Mitchell found her voice. Can I talk to Jisoo? Alone? Madame Kang smiled. Of course. You're practically family now. They went to his office, door closed, suddenly awkward in a way they hadn't been on the balcony. I'm sorry, my mother is right. She's right, and I hate it. He stepped closer. You don't have to do this. What if I want to? Second time she'd said it. First time in daylight without the haze of kissing. Why would you want to marry someone you barely know? Because I'm starting to know you, and I'm not scared of you anymore. Maybe you should be. Maybe I'm tired of being scared. He framed her face with both hands. If we do this, if you agree, it's real, not just paper. My mother will expect grandchildren, family dinners, forever. Is that what you want? Long pause. I don't know, but I know I want you alive. That's a start. At 3 p.m., the press conference happened without Mitchell present. She watched on TV as Madame Kang stood before cameras, announced the engagement, showed a photo of Mitchell and Jisoo together. Someone had taken it without them knowing. Mitchell's face appeared on every news channel in Korea, labeled Future Mrs. Park. Her phone exploded. Old friends, diner co-workers, strangers, then an unknown number. A photo of her with crosshairs over her face. Message, married or not, you're still worth $1 million dead. The crosshairs photo changed Jisoo into someone else. He saw the threat on her phone, and his face went Arctic cold. He made a single phone call. The entire estate locked down. Guards tripled. Cameras everywhere. No one in or out. Wedding is tomorrow. What? You said within the week. That was before they threatened you post-announcement. We're not giving them time to plan. Mitchell's head spun. I can't plan a wedding in 24 hours. My mother can. She's been planning it since she met you. The truth of that statement landed hard. Madame Kang had orchestrated everything from day one. Sure enough, Madame Kang appeared with a wedding dress already fitted to Mitchell's measurements. How did you... I estimated when I cleaned your wounds. Had 3 options made just in case. Angela helped Mitchell into the dress, both of them crying. Happy and terrified mixed together until they couldn't tell which was which. Traditional Korean hanbok adapted to modern style. Beautiful and suffocating. Baby, you don't have to do this, Angela whispered. Yeah, I do, but maybe I want to anyway. That night, Mitchell couldn't sleep. She wandered the estate, found Jisoo in the courtyard under the same tree as before. He wore traditional Korean clothes, wedding outfit already prepared. Can't sleep? She asked. Thinking. About? How I'm marrying you to keep you alive and wondering when it became more than that. Honesty that stopped her breath. She sat beside him. When did it? Become more? When you demanded truth from me, when you refused to hide, when you looked at me like I was a person instead of a weapon. You are a person. I'm a killer in a nice suit. You're the man who saved my family, who tucked my hair behind my ear like it mattered. He pulled her close, forehead against hers. Tomorrow you become my wife. That's real, Mitchell. Not pretend, not temporary. If we do this, I'm keeping you. Promise? I don't make promises I can't keep. They kissed again, slower this time, deeper, tasting like goodbye to who they were and hello to what they were becoming. Morning brought chaos, traditional ceremony preparation, family arriving, Jisoo's extended relatives, powerful and intimidating. Mitchell met them in her wedding hanbok, saw calculation in their eyes. They knew this marriage was strategic. They didn't care. They were assessing her worth. Madame Kang presented her like a prized daughter. Mitchell saved my life. She is precious to us. The relatives bowed. Acceptance given, if not warmth. The ceremony was beautiful. Traditional Korean wedding, vows in Korean that Madame Kang had taught her to pronounce. Jisoo's eyes never left her face. When the officiant said, "You may kiss," he did. Possessive and tender mixed. The reception was tense. Powerful people, dangerous alliances, everyone watching. Mitchell danced with Jisoo, his hand on her waist, hers on his shoulder. "Regrets?" he asked. "Ask me in a year. I will." Then the explosion outside, glass shattering, screaming, gunfire erupting like the world had split open. Jisoo covered her body with his, pulling her down. "Stay low!" He dragged Mitchell through a service exit while his men returned fire. They ran through gardens in wedding clothes, her hanbok tearing on branches. He had a gun in one hand and her wrist in the other. Behind them, the estate was a war zone. He pulled her into a hidden car and drove. She was crying and shaking. He was bleeding from a glass cut on his face. They'd just gotten married and immediately become refugees. Their wedding night would be spent running for their lives. Where are we going? Anywhere they're not. She understood. They couldn't go back, couldn't see her family, couldn't stop running. Marriage hadn't made her safe. It had made her a permanent target. They drove for 3 hours before Jisoo spoke. Mitchell still wore her torn hanbok. He was still in blood-stained traditional clothes. He pulled into an abandoned warehouse, finally stopped. "Your family?" "Safe." Minho got them to a secondary location before the explosion. Relief flooded through her. Who attacked? Rival family, Lee Syndicate. They wanted to send a message. What message? That marriage doesn't protect you, that I can't keep you safe. First time she'd heard defeat in his voice. She took his face in her hands. But I'm alive. We're alive. For how long? However long we fight for. He kissed her desperately, hands in her hair, and she responded with equal hunger. They consummated their marriage in an abandoned warehouse on his coat, spread over concrete. Not romantic, not perfect, desperate and real and claiming each other. After lying in his arms, reality crashed back. We can't run forever. I know. So what do? He was quiet for a long time. We end it, permanently. How? By going after the Lee family directly. Cut off the head, body dies. That's suicide. That's marriage. You're my wife now. I'm done playing defense. She saw the shift in him, from protector to warrior. They cleaned up, changed into clothes from an emergency bag in the car, drove to Madame Kang's secondary safe house, smaller, secure, underground entrance. They found Angela, Darius, and Madame Kang waiting. Angela hugged Mitchell hard. "Baby, I thought—" "I'm okay, Mom. We're okay." Madame Kang assessed them both, saw something had changed. The marriage is consummated. Not a question, a statement. Mitchell's face burned. Jisoo didn't deny it. Good, that makes it legally binding. Harder to annul if you survive this. Darius exploded. Survive? They just attacked a wedding. How is marriage solving anything? Madame Kang's voice cut through. Because now the Lee family attacked a Park bride. That's an act of war. Our allies will mobilize. You planned this, Mitchell realized. You knew they'd attack. I suspected, and I prepared. Fury rose in Mitchell's chest. You used our wedding as bait? I used it as a declaration. Now the Lee family has to answer to more than just us. Jisoo stepped between them. Enough, Uma. You got what you wanted. Leave. Mitchell alone. What I wanted is you alive. Both of you. You're welcome. She left, taking Angela and Darius with her. Mitchell and Jisoo stood alone again. I'm sorry. My mother is terrifying and brilliant, and I can't tell if I hate her or owe her everything. He almost smiled. That's being Park family. She touched his face. I'm Park family now. Yes, you are. The weight of that truth settled. She wasn't Mitchell Brooks anymore. She was Mitchell Park, and everything that came with that name. The next morning, Jisoo showed her security footage from the wedding attack. He paused on a frame showing the Lee family's second-in-command. Mitchell's blood froze. She'd seen that face before. At the diner. He was a regular customer, sat at her counter 3 times a week for months. Why would they watch me before I met you? Jisoo's face went terrible. I need to make a call. She knew he'd just realized something that changed everything. The call Jisoo made lasted 4 minutes and destroyed Mitchell's world. He returned ashen, hands shaking, first time she'd seen him rattled. Tell me. He sat heavily. The Lee family has been watching you for 8 months, since before I met you. Why? Because your father isn't dead. Mitchell couldn't breathe. What? He's alive. His real name is James Brooks. American. He worked for the Lee family 15 years ago, money laundering, trafficking routes. Then he disappeared with $3 million. No, my dad left when I was 8. He ran, with Lee money, changed identity, moved you and Angela around until they lost his trail. Everything she knew was a lie. They've been searching for him ever since. Found you 6 months ago. We're planning to use you as bait. Then Madame Kong's accident wasn't an accident. The Lee family staged it. Wanted to see who'd save her. Didn't expect you. Mitchell's entire reality was crumbling. So everything, meeting you, your mother, the rescue. The rescue was real. Your heroism was real. But the Lee family put my mother in that position, hoping someone connected to your father would emerge. And I walked right into it. You saved a life. That's not walking into a trap. That's being human. She was shaking. My father is alive and he's a criminal. Was a criminal. We don't know where he is now. Madame Kang entered, face grim. I know where he is. Both turned to her. My sources found him. He's in Jeju Island, living under an assumed name, running a small fishing business. He doesn't know the Lee family found his daughter. Mitchell stood on unsteady legs. I need to see him. Absolutely not, Jisoo said. It's too dangerous. He's my father, alive. He abandoned you. Jisoo's voice cracked with rare emotion. He left you vulnerable to people who want him dead. I don't care. He's my family. Madame Kong's voice cut through. He's the reason you're hunted. The Lee family wants him. Will kill anyone connected to him until he surfaces. Mitchell understood the calculation. I'm bait. Yes, until we eliminate the Lee family or deliver your father. We're not delivering anyone, Jisoo said coldly. Madame Kang met his eyes. Then we eliminate the Lee family, all of them. Mitchell saw it, the shift from protection to extermination. How many people are we talking about? 17 members, plus associates. You want to kill 17 people? I want to end the war. That requires removing the enemy. Mitchell looked at Jisoo. Is this what being your wife means? Ordering executions? His jaw tightened. It means surviving, whatever that takes. She realized she'd married into more than danger. She'd married into darkness. I want to meet my father first, before anyone dies. Mitchell. He's alive, Jisoo. I thought he was dead for 15 years. I need to see him. Something shifted in his face. Then I'm coming with you. So am I. Madame Kang said, this family stays together. They flew to Jeju Island the next day. Mitchell, Jisoo, Madame Kang, and 8 guards. They found her father's fishing boat docked at a small harbor. Mitchell saw him from a distance, older but unmistakably him, and her legs wouldn't move. Jisoo took her hand and they walked together down the dock. Her father looked up from the nets he was mending and saw her. His face went white. Mitchie. Hi, Dad. Before either could say more, gunfire erupted from the cliff above. The Lee family had found them first. Her father grabbed a gun from his boat. Of course he had a gun, and Mitchell realized her father had never stopped being a criminal. He'd just stopped being caught. If you're still watching, here's what I need from you right now. If you're emotionally invested in whether Mitchell and Jisoo survive this nightmare, hit that subscribe button. Smash that like if you want to see where this goes, and drop a comment telling me, are you Team Mitchell or Team Madame Kang? Because they're about to collide in ways you won't predict. Gunfire turned the harbor into hell. Bullets shattered wood, splintered the dock, made the water explode in violent geysers. Mitchell's father grabbed her, dragged her behind the boat with professional efficiency. Jisoo returned fire, his face carved from pure violence. Her father, James, shot back with precision that spoke of training, of years spent being someone she'd never known. A brief lull. James looked at Mitchell. You got tall. 15 years gone, and his first words were casual, like they'd spoken yesterday. More gunfire erupted. The boat splintered around them. James shouted over the chaos. My truck! Up the hill! Move! They ran. Mitchell between Jisoo and James, guards covering their retreat. They piled into the truck, tires screaming as James peeled away. The Lee family pursued. High-speed chase down coastal roads, James driving like a professional wheelman. He lost them through narrow alleys, finally stopped at an abandoned processing plant. Inside, James opened a hidden compartment in the floor. Weapons cache, explosives, tactical gear. 15 years of preparation revealed in a single moment. I knew they'd come eventually. Been ready. Jisoo and James exchanged a look. Criminals recognizing criminals. Lee headquarters, tonight. We end this. Madame Kang's voice cut through. That's suicide. James met her eyes. Only if we lose. Mitchell realized both men were planning an assault that might kill them. Her father and her husband, ready to die. Jisoo took her hand. There's no other way. She was caught between stopping them or becoming a widow. I'm coming with you. Both men said no simultaneously. She cut through their protests. The Lee family used me as bait. I'm ending it with you. Madame Kang surprised everyone. Our women fight, not hide. Jisoo looked at Mitchell with a mixture of terror and pride. She geared up in a tactical vest that didn't fit right. Jisoo adjusted the straps with shaking hands because he was terrified of losing her. He kissed her hard before they loaded into vehicles. She tasted his fear mixed with her own. Lee headquarters was a fortress pretending to be an office building. Downtown Busan, 30 floors, guards visible on every level. James's plan was brutal. Explosives in the basement hit them during their leadership meeting. Intel said all 17 Lee family members were inside tonight. Jisoo's men positioned on rooftops, in alleys, covering exits. Mitchell went with Jisoo and James, basement access through a service tunnel, crawling through darkness, pipes dripping, rats scattering. Jisoo ahead, James behind, Mitchell between them. They reached the basement. James placed charges with expert hands. Timer set. 12 minutes. They needed to be out before the explosion. Climbing back when the alarm sounded, they'd been discovered. Lights flooded the tunnel. Gunfire from both ends. Trapped. James made the call. Go back. Plant more charges. Trap them in the building. Suicidal, but the only option. They split. James one direction, Jisoo and Mitchell the other. Running through maintenance corridors, Jisoo pulling Mitchell behind him. His hand was iron tight on hers, wouldn't let go. They found the Lee family's second-in-command blocking their exit. The man who'd watched Mitchell at the diner for months. Jisoo stepped in front of her, raised his gun. Move! She's worth more alive, 1 million bounty still active. She's my wife, worth more than your life. He shot him. First kill Mitchell had witnessed directly. The body dropped. Jisoo didn't hesitate, pulled her over it. She was shaking. He was focused. Don't look. Keep moving. They reached the exit as the timer hit 2 minutes. James wasn't there yet. We have to go back. The explosion rocked the building. James had set off. The charges early. Jisoo covered Mitchell as glass rained down. Metal screamed. The building was collapsing, fire spreading. James emerged through the smoke, blood on his face but moving. Run! They sprinted as headquarters imploded behind them. 17 Lee family members inside, all dead. War over. In the getaway car, Mitchell sat between Jisoo and James, both men bloody, breathing hard, alive. Jisoo's hand found hers, squeezed. Her father drove, checking the mirror. We did it! But Mitchell saw Jisoo's face. No relief, just exhaustion. What's wrong? Killing 17 people doesn't feel like winning. First crack in his armor, vulnerability showing through. She leaned into him. His arm came around her shoulders. We're alive. That's winning. They arrived at the safe house to find Madame Kang waiting with news that made everyone freeze. Lee family had a successor clause. Eldest son inherits if leadership dies, and he wasn't in that building tonight. She showed them a photo. Young man, early 20s, cold eyes. Caption underneath, Lee Min-jun, Harvard MBA, returns to Korea tomorrow. Mitchell realized they hadn't ended the war. They'd just made it personal. The new Lee wanted revenge for his dead family, and he was smarter, younger, more dangerous than anyone they'd just killed. Lee Min-jun landed in Korea 6 hours later. News footage showed him, young, handsome, Western-educated, dangerous. Press conference announcing he was taking over the family business. He vowed to honor his father's legacy and punish those responsible. Everyone knew he meant the Park family. Madame Kang locked down the estate, triple guards, no one in or out. Mitchell's family was confined to the secure wing. Angela was terrified. Darius was angry. Both blamed Mitchell. You married into this, Darius said. Now we're prisoners. Mitchell had no defense because he was right. Jisoo was in strategy meetings for hours, planning their defense. Mitchell was alone in their bedroom. First time truly alone since the wedding. She realized she hadn't slept in a bed with her husband yet, only on a warehouse floor. Late night, Jisoo finally entered, exhausted. He saw her awake. Can't sleep? Can't stop thinking. He sat on the bed's edge. She moved to him, first time in their actual bedroom as a married couple. I'm sorry, he said. This isn't the marriage you deserved. What marriage did I deserve? One without death and war. She took his face in her hands. I chose this. Chose you. She kissed him, slow and deep. Different from the warehouse desperation. This was claiming, choosing, staying. He responded like a drowning man finding air. They made love in their bed for the first time. After, lying tangled together, his fingers tracing her collarbone. If Min-jun comes for me, don't. If he does, promise me you'll protect your family. Angela, Darius, promise. She rose on one elbow, looked down at him. You are my family. Something broke in his face. He pulled her close. Morning brought Min-jun's first move. Not violence, but legal warfare. Lawsuit filed against the Park family for wrongful death of 17 Lee family members. Evidence presented. Security footage showing James, Jisoo, and Mitchell entering the building. International warrant issued for James Brooks. Mitchell named as an accomplice. He's using the law as a weapon, Madame Kang said. Smart. They couldn't fight a legal battle the same way as a street war. Jisoo's lawyers mobilized, but the damage was done. Mitchell's face was on the news. American woman involved in mass killing. Her diner, her old friends, everyone seeing. Her phone exploded with messages. Horror, betrayal, strangers. She wasn't just a target anymore. She was a villain. Jisoo found her watching the news, turned it off. Don't read the comments, don't watch the coverage. Everyone thinks I'm a murderer. Everyone who matters knows you're a survivor. His arms around her, her face in his chest. Min-jun is destroying my life without firing a shot. That's the point. He wants you to break before he kills you. Madame Kang received an envelope, opened it. Her face went white. Inside was a wedding photo of Mitchell and Jisoo with a red X through Jisoo's face and a circle around Mitchell. Note, wife for wife. You killed my family, I'll take yours, starting with the bride. Mitchell realized Min-jun wasn't planning to kill her. He was planning something worse. What does wife for wife mean? Madame Kang said quietly. His wife died in the building explosion. She was pregnant. Guilt crashed through Mitchell. They'd killed an innocent woman and her unborn child. Jisoo saw her face. Don't you dare blame yourself. But she already did. Min-jun's wife had been 6 months pregnant. Mitchell learned the details. Soo Min, 24, art student, married 6 months. She wasn't a criminal, just a woman who'd loved the wrong man, and they'd killed her. Mitchell spiraled. Guilt, horror, complicity. She locked herself in the bathroom, crying until she was sick. Jisoo broke the lock, found her on the floor. She was innocent. We killed her and her baby. We killed the Lee family. She chose to be there. She didn't choose to die. First real fight between them. Anger and grief mixed into something toxic. You think I don't know what we did? His voice cracked. I know. But if we hadn't, Min-jun's father would still be hunting you. So we're murderers either way. We're survivors. There's a difference. She wasn't convinced. He saw it. He knelt, took her hands. Min-jun will use your guilt to destroy you. Don't let him. How do I live with this? Same way I live with 74 others. You survive and try to be better. Honesty that cut through her spiral. She leaned into him, both broken in different ways. Days passed. Min-jun's legal assault continued. Park family businesses were targeted. Health inspections, tax audits, licensing issues, systematic dismantling through bureaucracy. James was in hiding. The international warrant meant he couldn't surface. He called Mitchell from a burner phone. I'm sorry, baby, this is my fault. No, it's the Lee family's fault. You just took their money. $3 million cost you everything. Cost me nothing. I found you, I have Jisoo, I'm alive. She realized it was true even as she said it. Her father was quiet on the other end. Then, your mother raised you right. Yeah, she did. Hanging up, she found Madame Kang watching. You forgave him quickly. He's my father, and we've all done terrible things to survive. Madame Kang's expression shifted. Respect, maybe, or recognition. Min-jun requested a meeting. Just you and him. Public place. Neutral ground. Why me? Because you're leverage, and because he wants to see the woman who killed his wife. Jisoo entered, already shaking his head. Absolutely not. I'm going. He'll kill you. In a public cafe with witnesses? He's smarter than that. Madame Kang agreed. He wants to negotiate, use Mitchell to draw out James. Then we send someone else. No, Mitchell said firmly. This is my mess. I'm handling it. Jisoo's face went terrible. I just got you. I'm not losing you. She took his face in her hands. You won't. But I need to face him. Then I'm coming. He specified alone. I go alone or not at all. She saw him war with himself. Protection versus trust. Mitchell walked into the cafe the next day wearing a wire Jisoo had insisted on. Min-jun sat at a corner table in an expensive suit, looking like an MBA student, not a crime lord. When she sat, he said, "Thank you for coming, Mrs. Park." He slid a photo across the table. His wife's ultrasound. The baby was clearly visible. Her name was going to be Jia. It means wisdom. Mitchell's throat closed. He continued, voice calm and terrible. I'm going to kill everyone you love. Slowly, starting with your mother, then your brother, then Madame Kang. And I'm going to make Jisoo Park watch before I kill him. And you'll live knowing you caused it all. He stood to leave. She realized the meeting wasn't a negotiation. It was a declaration of war. He'd just told her exactly how everyone she loved would die. Mitchell ran from the cafe and threw up in the alley. Jisu's men pulled her into the car. The wire had recorded everything. Back at the estate, Jisu listened to the recording. His face grew darker with each word. "He threatened your family, your mother, all of you." Madame Kang's voice was steel. "Then we accelerate, strike before he does." "How?" Mitchell asked. "He's a public figure now, educated, connected. He's still a criminal. We expose him." James emerged from hiding with evidence. 15 years of Lee family files, money trails, trafficking routes, murder contracts. Kept it as insurance. Now we use it. The plan formed: leak everything to international authorities, FBI, Interpol, Korean authorities, make Min-jun too hot to touch. "He'll know it came from us," Jisu said. "Good," James replied. "Let him come into the open." They executed the plan. Files uploaded, sent, leaked. Within 48 hours, news exploded. Lee family criminal empire exposed. Min-jun's assets froze. Associates arrested. Empire crumbling. But he escaped. Too smart, too prepared. He went underground, and that was more dangerous. A known enemy in the open was better than an unknown enemy in the shadows. Mitchell couldn't sleep. She knew he was coming. She found Jisu on the balcony at 3 a.m., both unable to rest. "When he comes, we'll be ready. You can't protect me from everything." He turned, pulled her close. "Watch me." He kissed her like proving a point, hands in her hair, her back against the railing. Desperate and claiming and terrified mixed together. "I love you," she said. First time either had said it. He went still, pulled back to see her face. "Say it again." "I love you, Jisu Park. Even with your 74 ghosts and your dangerous mother in this war, I love you." "I love you too," he breathed. "God help me, I love you too." They stumbled back to the bedroom, making love like the world was ending. Because it might be. Morning brought the attack. Min-jun didn't come subtle. He came with men, guns, explosives. The estate became a war zone again. Mitchell woke to gunfire. Jisu dragged her to the safe room. "Stay here. Don't leave until I come back." "Jisu!" He kissed her hard. "I'm coming back. I promise." The door locked. She was trapped in a reinforced room with Madame Kang and Angela. Through security feeds, they watched the battle below. Jisu and James fighting side by side. Guards falling. Enemy advancing. Then the explosion. The East Wing. Collapsed. Jisu and James had been in the East Wing. The screens went black. Mitchell screamed, hitting the door. She couldn't get out. Madame Kang tried to reach anyone on the radio. Static. Then silence. Mitchell knew. Either Jisu was dead, or she was about to be a widow at 23. The door opened. Not Jisu. Min-jun. Gun in hand, blood on his suit. "Everyone you love is dead or dying, and you're coming with me." He grabbed Mitchell before Madame Kang could react. Dragged her out of the safe room through smoke and bodies. She was screaming for Jisu. Min-jun laughed. "He's buried under the East Wing. Stop screaming for ghosts." She saw James's body on the floor, not moving. She realized Min-jun had won. She was being kidnapped by the man who'd promised to make her watch everyone die. Last thing she saw before he drugged her was Madame Kang being held at gunpoint. Everything went black. Mitchell woke in a basement that smelled like salt water and rust. Her hands were zip-tied. Her head pounded from whatever drug he'd used. The concrete floor was cold against her cheek. Min-jun sat across the room, watching her wake. "Good. We can begin." He didn't hurt her, just talked. Showed her photos on a tablet. The estate burning. Bodies being removed in bags. "Your husband is buried under 10 tons of concrete. Your father bled out in the courtyard. Madame Kang is in critical condition at my private hospital. She lives or dies based on your cooperation." "What do you want?" "The 3 million. Your father hid it somewhere. You're going to help me find it." "I don't know where." "You will, because I'm very good at making people remember things they didn't know they knew." Days blurred together. He didn't torture her. He exhausted her, kept her awake, constant questions, psychological pressure wearing her down like water on stone. He showed her Madame Kang on a video feed, barely alive, machines beeping. Tell me where. The money is. She gets medical care. Refuse, I turn off the machines. Mitchell had no information to give, but she noticed things. The basement had a small window, guard rotation every 6 hours. Min Jun left for exactly 2 hours every afternoon. She was planning escape, not waiting for rescue. 5th day, Min Jun's phone rang during questioning. He answered, his face changing, shock, then rage. He hung up, looked at Mitchell with a new expression. Your husband is alive. Her heart stopped. He crawled out of the rubble. 12 broken bones, punctured lung, but alive. And he's coming for you. Good, she said. You won't think so when I use you to kill him. He left, locked the door, posted extra guards. Mitchell knew she was out of time. That night, she broke her own thumb to slip the zip ties. Saw it in a movie once. It hurt worse than she'd imagined. Blinding, nauseating pain. She waited for the guard change. When he brought food, she attacked through the door. Gap. Took his gun, his keys, ran. She didn't know where she was. Industrial area, shipping containers, ocean smell strong in the air. She found a phone in the guard shack, called Jisu's number. He answered on the first ring. Mitchell. His voice was wrecked but alive. Where are you? I don't know. Shipping yard, I think. Gunfire erupted behind her. Min Jun's men had spotted her. She ran. Jisu talked her through landmarks, tracking her phone. Keep running, I'm coming. 10 minutes. She ran through shipping containers, bullets hitting metal around her. Headlights appeared. 2 vehicles. Men pouring out. She thought she was caught until she recognized Minho. Jisu got out of the passenger seat, moving like every step hurt. Their eyes met across 50 feet of concrete. She ran toward him. He ran toward her, both limping and broken. They collided in the middle. His arms crushed her, her face pressed into his neck, both shaking. He whispered, I've got you. She whispered, I know. Min Jun's voice cut through from speakers mounted on containers. Touching reunion, but you're standing in a kill box. Red laser dots appeared on both their chests. The laser dots didn't waver. Jisoo pulled Mitchell behind a container as shots rang out. His men returned fire, tactical retreat to the vehicles. Min Jun's voice over the speakers. I own this shipping yard, every container, every sight line. You're not leaving. They were pinned down. Jisu's injuries were slowing him. Ribs broken, breathing labored. Mitchell saw he shouldn't be here, should be in a hospital. You came for me. Always. Minho radioed. They were surrounded. 20 of Min Jun's men, 6 of theirs. The math didn't work. Where's my father? Madame Kang? Your father's alive, critical but stable. Madame Kang is... Jisu's face tightened. She's the one who told me where to find you. How did she know? She has Min Jun's hospital bugged, heard everything. Madame. Kang. Still playing chess from a hospital bed. More gunfire, closer now. Systematic sweep. We need to move, Minho said. Jisu could barely stand. Mitchell supported him. They ran through the container maze, his blood leaving a trail. They found the exit blocked. Min Jun's men waiting. Trapped again. Min Jun appeared, gun in hand. Alone, confident. I could kill you both right now. Then do it, Mitchell said. Where's the satisfaction in that? I want you to suffer first. Jisu stepped in front of Mitchell despite his injuries. You want suffering? I'll give you a trade. Me for her. Let her walk. I stay. Jisu, no. Tempting, Min Jun said, but I have a better idea. He pulled out his phone, showed them a video feed. Madame Kang's hospital room. Armed men entering. I have 12 men there. 1 phone call, your mother dies, Mr. Park. You're bluffing. Am I? Call her, see if she answers. Jisu tried. No answer. Min Jun smiled. So here's the trade. You both stay, surrender, I let your mother live. You run, she dies, and I hunt you forever. Choose. Mitchell saw Jisoo's face, calculation, desperation. She knew he'd choose his mother. Before he could speak, the sound of a helicopter overhead. Spotlight hit them. Voice over loudspeaker in English and Korean. "This is Korean National Police. Drop your weapons." Min-jun's face went white. Someone called the police? Mitchell realized. Madame Kong. From her hospital bed, barely alive, she'd called the authorities, gave them everything. Locations, evidence, recordings, a suicide move that saved them. Min-jun ran, his men scattered. Police swarmed the yard. Jisoo and Mitchell collapsed against a container, holding each other. "Your mother." "I know." At the hospital, Madame Kang was in the ICU, machines beeping, a lawyer at her bedside. She'd made Jisoo promise something before calling the police. "If I don't make it, don't let Min-jun win. Finish what we started." Jisoo stood at her bedside and realized she hadn't just called the police. She'd given them everything, including the Park family's illegal operations. She was destroying her own son's empire to end the war. Mitchell overheard the doctor. "She has maybe 48 hours. Madame Kang was dying. This fierce woman who'd forced them together might not survive to see what she'd created. Madame Kang died at 4:17 a.m., holding Mitchell's hand. Not Jisoo's hand, Mitchell's. She'd asked for Mitchell specifically in her final hour. Jisoo stood at the foot of the bed watching. Madame Kang whispered to Mitchell, "Take care of my son. He needs you more than he'll admit." "I will. And don't let him become his father. Keep him human." "I promise." She smiled, squeezed Mitchell's hand, closed her eyes. The monitor flatlined. Jisoo didn't cry. He just stood frozen. Mitchell went to him, held him while he shook silently. The funeral 3 days later was massive. Powerful people, dangerous alliances. Mitchell stood beside Jisoo in a black dress Madame Kang had bought her. She realized the older woman had prepared for this, left instructions, arrangements, everything planned, even in death, controlling the narrative. After the burial, the reading of the will. Madame Kang left the estate to Jisoo, but with conditions. Park family businesses to be liquidated, legitimate holdings only, no more criminal enterprises. She'd forced her son's hand even from the grave. Jisoo read it without expression. "She wanted me out." "She wanted you safe," Mitchell said. James was recovering in the hospital. He wanted to see Mitchell. She visited, found him bandaged but alive. "I'm going back to the States. The $3 million is in an account for you and your mom. Clean money now, laundered legal. I don't want it. Take it. Start over. You earned it saving that woman." "You mean marrying into the family that got you shot?" "I mean, being brave enough to pull a stranger from a truck." He touched her face. "I'm sorry I left you. Sorry for all of it." "I know, I forgive you." They held each other, father and daughter. 15 years of absence in that hug. "Come visit?" he asked. "Maybe, after things settle." Weeks passed. Police investigation, park businesses dismantled, Jisoo cooperating with authorities per his mother's will. Min-jun was arrested trying to flee the country. The evidence Madame Kang had provided was damning. Life sentence, no parole. The war was over, truly this time. Mitchell and Jisoo were alone in an estate that felt too big, too empty. "What do we do now?" she asked. "Whatever we want." "What do you want?" He looked at her. "Small apartment, normal job, life with you that isn't running or fighting." "That sounds perfect." They sold the estate, moved to a small place overlooking the ocean. Jisoo got a job managing a legitimate restaurant, skills from his businesses put to honest use. Mitchell went back to school. Art therapy degree. Simple, quiet, normal, and somehow harder than war. 6 months into normal life, Mitchell woke to find Jisoo on the balcony at 3 a.m. Old pattern. She joined him. "Can't sleep. Keep having nightmares about losing you." She realized war had left scars that didn't show. Peace was harder than they'd thought. Choosing each other every day when danger wasn't forcing them together was the real test. She took his hand. "I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." "Promise?" "Every day. I'll promise every day." That was the marriage, not the wedding or babies or perfect healing, just the daily choice to stay. Normal life was terrifying. No one shooting at them, no one hunting them, just existing. Jisoo struggled. Nightmares, hypervigilance, checking locks 12 times. Mitchell found him taking inventory of weapons he didn't have anymore. PTSD was visible now that adrenaline wasn't masking it. She suggested therapy. He refused. "I don't need to." "Talk about it." "You wake up screaming 3 times a week." "I'll handle it." "You don't have to handle it alone." Pride versus pain. Eventually, pain won. He went to therapy, a veteran counselor who understood violence. Mitchell went too, separate therapist for her trauma. They learned. They'd survived the war but hadn't processed it. Slowly, painfully, they healed. Date nights in small restaurants where no one knew them. Walks on the beach where Jisoo taught her Korean properly. Cooking together in their tiny kitchen. Burning dinner. Laughing. First real laughter since before the truck. Angela and Darius visited from the States. Darius apologized. "I blamed you. I was wrong." "You were scared. I get it." Family dinner cramped around a small table. Normal. Angela pulled Mitchell aside. "You happy, baby?" "Yeah, Mom, I am." "Even with everything?" "Because of everything. I know what matters now." James called from Arizona, working a marina, sober, trying. "I found someone. Her name's Rosa. She wants to meet you." "I'd like that." "You sound good, Mitchie." "I am good." And she was. 1-year anniversary of saving Madame Kong. They visited her grave, left flowers. "She'd hate these," Jisoo said. "Too simple." "She'd love that we're together." "Yeah, she would." Standing in the cemetery, holding hands, alive. "Do you regret it?" Mitchell asked. "Giving up the empire?" "Every day I wake up next to you without someone trying to kill us. No regrets." That night, back in their apartment, music playing, Mitchell dancing. She pulled Jisoo up despite his protests. "I don't dance." "You do now." Swaying in their tiny living room, her head on his chest, his arms around her. "This is enough," she whispered. "What is?" "This. You. Us. Just this." He kissed the top of her head. "Yeah, it is." Weeks later, Mitchell got a job offer. Art therapy position at a children's hospital. Jisoo was promoted to restaurant owner when the ET previous owner retired. Building life piece by piece. Not perfect. Still nightmares, still triggers, still hard days, but together. One morning, Jisoo making coffee, Mitchell reading on the couch. He sat beside her. "I love you." Said it casual, like he'd said it 1,000 times. He had. "I love you too. Want to do something crazy?" "Like what?" "Like renew our vows. Proper wedding this time. Just us. Beach. Actual choice." "We chose each other already." "I know. Want to choose you again anyway." Beach ceremony. Just them and an officiant. Sunset over the Busan ocean. Mitchell wore a simple white dress, not a hanbok this time. Jisoo wore a light suit, no tactical vest. They wrote their own vows. Mitchell said, "I vow to choose you when it's easy and when it's hard, when we're running and when we're standing still, every single day until I can't anymore." Jisoo said, "I vow to let you choose me, to be worth choosing, to build a life with you that's ours, not anyone else's." They kissed as waves crashed behind them. It was perfect, not because it was a fairy tale, but because it was real. They were alive and together. That was everything. 2 years after the truck, Mitchell woke to Jisoo making terrible pancakes. The kitchen smoke alarm went off, him cursing in Korean. She laughed, rescued breakfast. They ate the burned edges together. Small apartment, messy but theirs. Her art therapy work was thriving, kids she helped, progress visible. His restaurant was successful, legitimate, clean. He was proud. Weekend routine, beach walks, her teaching him to sketch, him teaching her to cook Korean food properly. Angela had remarried, a nice man, an accountant, boring in the best way. Darius was in college, engineering, doing well. James visited twice a year with Rosa, awkward but trying. Minjun was in prison. They didn't think about him anymore. Sometimes people recognized Jisoo from old news. He'd changed enough they usually weren't sure. Different haircut, smile lines around his eyes, softer. Mitchell had changed too. Confidence, scars healed, laugh that came easier. That morning, walking the beach, she found something in the sand. An old phone, not hers. Someone else's lost phone. Should we try to return it? Jisoo smiled. Wrong numbers can change your life. She threw it back in the ocean. Once was enough. They walked hand in hand. Ocean breeze, sun warm. Do you think about it? She asked. The truck, everything after? Sometimes, you. Yeah, but not the violence. The choosing. Choosing what? You, every day, choosing you. He stopped, turned her to face him. I choose you too. Every morning, every hard day, every easy one. He kissed her soft and sweet, not desperate anymore, just present. Later, back at the apartment, she painted while he prepped for the restaurant. He watched her work, brushstrokes confident. What are you painting? A truck. A woman being pulled from a car. The moment everything changed. That's dark. It's honest. And it's beautiful, too. The rescue. The choice. He came behind her, arms around her waist, chin on her shoulder. Yeah, it is. Evening, they had dinner with friends from his restaurant. Normal people, normal conversation, laughter. Later, lying in bed, lights off, city quiet. Mitchell? Yeah? Thank you. For what? For running toward the truck. For saving her. For choosing me. She rolled to face him, hand on his cheek in the dark. Thank you for answering the text. For coming. For staying. Always. She fell asleep in his arms, safe and warm and chosen. She dreamed of trucks and explosions and running, but woke up in their bed, his breathing steady beside her, sun through the curtains. The war was over. The choosing continued, and that was enough. That was everything. You watched a story where the heroine saved herself, where the hero went to therapy, where love was a choice, not a cure, where the ending respected your intelligence enough to show you that healing is slow, messy, and real. So here's what I need you to do. Hit that subscribe button right now and smash that like button if this story made you feel something. Comment below and tell me. What do you want to see next? I read every single comment. Your voice shapes what I create. So subscribe, like, comment, share. And I'll see you in the next story. It's going to destroy you. I promise.